Hi, I'm Simon Cote, the National Sales Manager of Audio Plus Services. We are the distributor of Focal Professional monitors, and I'm here today to talk about a brand new series, the Shape series, so the Focal Shape, has 3 different models, the 40s, the 50s, and 65, and that actually identifies the size of the speakers, so we have 4-inch, a 5, and a 6.5. Here we have the 4 and the 5. Shape series is very innovative, a bunch of new features on it, really improves over past series. The most obvious, obviously, is the new cone material. This isn't a design thing. It's actually made out of raw flax fibers. Yes, the same that is the flax seeds. And we use this in a woven material, a bit like a natural carbon fiber, so to speak. So it's very rigid, but also has very great damping, which means it doesn't resonate. So it's a bit like a paper cone. So it doesn't have like its own resonance, its own sound. So it's a very neutral material. So that's the first feature that's very obvious in this new series. So I'll have this. The other thing that's also pretty obvious from the cabinet shape, it's actually the double passive radiators. So actually there's one of each, one on each side, and actually is to make the speaker a lot more compact. So that essentially replaces the port. Passive radiators are not connected to an amplifier, so they're really just there to replace the ported enclosure. This will give you extended low-end response, very tight low-end response, and as I said, you have one on each side. It's a very unique passive radiator. It has a double suspension system, so it means there's one on the outside and one that you can't see on the inside, which means that even at high volume, it stays very, very stable, so the passives really don't move around. So it's very, very tight bass. There's other really interesting thing. There's actually a brand new tweeter design. If you're familiar with Focal, you've seen that our tweeters are a little different. They are actually inverted dome tweeters, so they actually are from the inside. In this case, it's actually a new profile completely called the M shape. So this one might be a little difficult to see, but actually has a little ridge in the middle that makes it even more rigid. And increased rigidity means that it's even less distortion and improved dispersion. So you'll have an even better sound, like left to right, up and down. So if you move around in your studio, you'll have a really very even response. Couple interesting mechanical features and other things. They have adjustable feet, so if you want to angle them up or down, actually it's built-in feet that you can screw in and out. Very easy to do. At the back of the speakers, you have mounting bracket points. Again, since I mentioned that those have passive radiators and no rear ports, these can be placed relatively close to a back wall. So that's why you have mounting points in the back on all 3 different models. On the 40s and 50s, on the 2 smaller models, you also have a microphone stand thread underneath. So if you have like a tripod or something you want to mount them on, you can also do that. Electronically speaking, of course, these are powered speakers, so they have 2 amplifiers. And at the back, you can see the feature. These all have 3-band EQ, so low shelving, high shelving, and a mid-range adjustment. And you also have a high pass feature, so a variable high pass in the case of the 50s and 65s, and a fixed one for the 40s. And this is essentially for subwoofer integration. So if you want to have a subwoofer included with those, you can actually just high pass the main speakers. In terms of inputs, they have RCA and XLR inputs, and these can work at the same time. So if you have 2 different inputs, these will work at the same time, and you don't have to switch or adjust the levels independently. So it's really all included in this. So these are actually shipping now. They're brand new, all available. And if you have more questions, contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.